So, Thomas, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, fine. You don't need to call me Thomas.
I'm sorry, Tommy.
I haven't heard Thomas now since I was a little bambino.
I see. I'm sorry. Would you mind? I know, but just could you mind not smoking, please? It really irritates me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's all right, Father.
Thank you.
Father, you know, that reminds me of a memory. You know?
Yes.
Father, you know?
Yes?
No, I don't mean you, I mean my father.
Oh, sorry. Do go on, Thomas. Tommy.
You see that? You see what that says?
Yes. Hurt.
Yeah. See, I did that when I was a kid because back where I came from, you know, we didn't have money to get those kind of tattoos, you know. See that there, then? This kind of little thing here?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, well, basically that part was used as a piece of paper. You see, that was kind of the practice thing. You see, what we used to do is we used to get a, you know, kind of like a needle, and we used to light it, dip it in some ink, and then we took it in. See, that's exactly now, see, this is exactly where the father things comes from. Just, you know, calling you father just kind of reminded me, what was your father like to you?
Well, Tommy, that was a life of mine. As you know, I'm a priest now, and I live a totally different life.
Yeah. Well, see, Father, since you're here, I might as well tell you a little something about my life. See, my father, you know, he's an American. You know, but see, my mother, she's Irish. You know, see, do you know what that is?
That's the kind of ring.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. That was my mom. Well, my mom come from Ireland. That was her father's ring. You know, so I keep that close by.
That's nice, Thomas.
Yeah, I like to think so. You know, this is always something that I keep. You see, my father worked down at the oil. You know them refineries down by the docks.
Yeah, miners.
Well, it's kind of like the miners. You know, they kind of have tankers. You know, them kind of things. You know, I
get what you're trying to tell me, Tommy.
You see, Father, have you ever been beaten?
Well, at the moment, that was a different life. Time ago, Tommy.
I mean beaten like right on your own roof, kind of beaten.
Well,
what I'm trying to say is, have you ever been beaten by someone who you thought you could trust? Have you ever been beaten by someone who you thought, you know, who's supposed to be brought into this world to protect you? See, let me tell you something about my father. Now you see, I had a kid as young age as me to be able to put that into my hands. My father worked at these oil refiners. You know what my father failed to do was be able to look in the mirror and be able to see himself. However, you see, my father, where I'm guessing he was bullied, he used to always complain about this guy called Joe. Now, what Joe used to do is he used to always bully him. So basically he'd come home, I'd take off his belt and used to blame it on me because, you see, the way he looked at me was, I was that Joe. You know what I'm trying to say?
I understand, Tommy.
You understand? Father, if I could go back and change anything, it'd probably be to talk to him. Just ask him maybe a couple of questions. He's dead now. You know, I'm not going to exactly go down the road of explaining everything, but...
Can I ask you a question, Tommy? So basically, what you're trying to tell me is the actions to your predicaments are really to say, or so, is you're blaming your father for your actions.
No, look... Before I watched the television program, you know, before they brought me in here.
Yes.
I watched one night, I watched it carefully. And they said that every time something happens to somebody, they go into their past, because the way they see it is that there's something wrong. There's always something wrong somewhere, and what they think is that, you know, this person goes off and does one thing, which means obviously there's something wrong in the past. But you know, what made them do this? You know, if someone's going to go off and cut someone up with a hatchet, you know, that you know, they're not born with that. See, what I believe is that my father, what he did is, like, you know, when you're born into a piece of clay. You know, you're born into a piece of, you know, something that molds you. Your parents mold you for what you are. That's what to do. Now my father molded me into this. You see, hurt and pain. That's exactly what I think that is.
God works in a mysterious way, my son.
God works in mysterious ways. See, Father, I used to believe that because my mother being Irish and all that, my father being American, just being some kind of, this fucking tough, excuse me now, tough ass,
That's okay.
But,
well, Tommy, the thing is, as much as you like to excuse your actions, I took some notes here. I've looked up your,
Before this, Father, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Father, when you came in here,
Yes.
one thing you asked me was you didn't want me to smoke. You excused my smoking. When I brought up my father and I started talking about my personal problems, I lit up a cigarette and I blew smoke straight in your face. And you didn't have a problem with that, which makes me kind of wonder. I don't mean to be interfering in your own business, but it makes me think, why did you go in the priesthood, Father? See, maybe I think we're both alike in a way, maybe in some kind of way. Because you look at me, how can you then excuse my cigarette that time whenever your father seems maybe I sidetracked you in some kind of way? Or am I just putting words in my own mouth?
No offense, my son, but I don't think we're anything alike.
So what do you want to show me?
Yes. Well, Tommy,
Yeah.
I made a list of your records here from the police, and well, basically, Tommy, I just took down bullet points, and from what I see here, things are quite corrupt. Although you tried to defend your actions, my son, but I don't know, this is pretty much textbook. If you'd like to take a look, please.
Thank you, man. Don't mind giving me a go of those.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, I don't know if they'll help, but
I will. I'll try. Not too far long distance. Man, these are, you actually believe I did these kind of things?